Hello there, Leslie Rogalski here. Hello. With another Facebook Live for the BeadSmith. Let's see if we can get some people to sign in and join us. We're going to play like I play today. I call these bead doodles or doodle beads, and I will take beads and make components, and I'll just play with them. It's kind of that try this, try this. So today I was working with these little components that I had made with Paisley Duos, backlit matte Gemduos, and size 11 seed beads. Hello Maria, thanks for tuning in. So you can see here. So I've been playing with these and I had started to make them, and we got the cymbal stuff in. We have cymbals that are made for Gemduos. Val, hi. Hey, it's my number one, Leslie. Wow, everybody's joining us. Cool. Because this is really fun, and part of the fun for most of us is to play with your beads. So we have cymbal components that are meant to go with the Gemduos. So I'm going to show you how to make this cute little component and a trick for a nice permanent attachment for your ear wire. And then I'm going to show you what I did to swap out for the complementing Gemduo components to bring that richness of the metal fashion elements that we so love about the cymbal line and the cymbal collection. So here we go. The first thing we're going to do is I have strung, put them right side up. I have strung a line of Paisley Duos and Gemduos, and you can see that here. And I want you to notice, all right, I have 4 of each type of bead, 4 Paisley Duos and 4 Gemduos for a total of 8 beads that I'm going to turn into the ring here. That's going to be the earring. And you can see how the Paisley Duos are in a set facing around like an arch like this and an arch like this, and I want you to notice how the Gemduos are placed. And I have this on like an 18-inch piece of thread, and I'm just going to tie this in a knot so it forms a ring. I'm going to tie a square knot right there. That bead's just turned in. So you can see that. And I'm going to tie another half hitch because sometimes these knots will slide and it'll loosen up a little bit. So I'm going to tie another half hitch, make sure it goes right down in between those beads. There you go. Stephen, hi. Manuela, hi. Thanks for tuning in. All right, let me get another needle here. Now what I'm going to do is just take the tail from the thread that I just used, and I'm going to string it on another needle and weave that in, and it's easier to do that now than later. So I'm going to string my tail on and weave it away from the knot through the beads. So I'm just going through a couple beads. Paisley Duo, and you see it's just on what I'm going to call the inner holes, and these 2-hole beads have outer holes. So I'm going to finish weaving my tail in just like this. Hey, somebody give a shout out if you can't understand me or you can't hear me. And yes, Leslie, these are great colors. Now I'm going to take my thread zap and I'm just going to touch it to my little tail veil. Now I just have my working thread. So the next thing for this component is to start to add my size 11s around the outside. And the process that I discovered by sort of trial and error allows me to keep the outline shape going in and out like this. So as I do this, I'll explain to you how my bead doodling got me to where I am. All right, now I'm coming out from the knot right now, and just as a rule of thumb, it's better to sew through a bead or two and not start to stitch right from your knot, because then it'll pull on it. So there's a tip for you. Sew away from your knot, and I'm going to sew in through the next Paisley Duo, and through the next gem duo. So I'm exiting between a gem duo and a Paisley duo. Now I'm going to pick up 3 11s, and I'm going to sew back through the gem duo, outer hole, like this. So we're going to bracket the gem duo with 3 size 11s. And I'm going to pick up my other size 11s, and now I'm going to sew the size 11 sit on this side. Zalia, I hope I pronounced that right. Welcome. Now I'm going to sew back through the gem duo, the one gem duo. Now I have 3 on each side. My next step is to come up again through these first 3 11s that I added and sew around the top. So I'm just going to turn this so that I can get my needle through those 3 seed beads. And you see how that's not coming out the top? And pull it if it looks a little loose. I'm going to string 3 more 11s. And now I'm going to come through the second set of 3 11s that I just added in that step. 1, 2, 3. Now we have a nice little tip. So in my play, I discovered that now I'm going to come through the outer hole of the Paisley duo, and it's going to pull those 11s into a nice position. Don't get caught. There you go. Now I'm just going to repeat this around until I have all 4 of these done. But watch how I do the next one. I'm going to pick up 3 more. Oh, and by the way, make sure that you check all 2 hold beads before you use them to make sure that both holes are clear. Because if they're not, you could get a whole part of your element stitched up, and then you're going to have to take it apart because you only have 1 hole in your 2 hold beads. That doesn't work that way. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is go from the outer hole of the Paisley duo through the outer hole of the next gem duo. And we're going to add the 3 seed beads going down the other side of the gem duo through the inner hole. All right, now we're going to come up and we're going to go through these 11s right here this time, and it's going to pull the 11s down to make that nice little peaked pointed outline. See? Now we're going to add the 3 for the tip, and we're going to go through that set of seed beads added on this side, and we're ready to go through the outer hole of the next Paisley duo. And here we go. We're going to repeat it again. Pick up 3 11s, go through the outer hole, pick up 3 11s, and by the way, I will try to write this up and post it in our I Love Beads library on BeadSmith.com website. Here's the next 3. I'm going to go back through the inner hole. Then I'm going to come up again through these 11s. So you can see it's kind of a system that works around. And I'm just turning the piece around so that I can get my needle through there. I'm using a size 10 needle right now because the beads are large enough. But a size 10 or a size 12, which is thinner, would work fine. Here's my next 3 to do the tip. I'm going down through the 11s. And the thing to remember is now you want to come through the outer hole of the next Paisley. And we're going to frame the next gem duo, and this is where we're going to add our little component to add the ear wire. All right, out through the outer hole, pick up your next 3 for the other side, and go through, go through the inner hole. So you're kind of working in a circular fashion when you do this, kind of around and around. All right, out through the 3 11s. You know, it's always so much harder to do stuff on camera than it is when you're just hunched over your workspace. All right, 3 more for the last tip. Now, essentially we have this almost finished. You want to make sure you complete this step to go through the first Paisley Duo that you exited in the very beginning. And now we're going to come up to sew through the 11s to the tip where your ear wire would have you hanging this piece. Or, as I'm going to show you, your little closed jump ring so that you could attach it to an ear wire, but you could also just hang it as a pendant. So you're going to come up through those 3 beads that frame the Gem Duo. Don't get caught. And then you're going to come through that tip. You have the 3 beads at the tip. You're going to come through the 1 bead and pay attention to the direction that you're coming out. Now you're going to pick up what I call a stem bead and a closed jump ring. I know a lot of people, when they make earrings, they just will make a loop of seed beads. But I'm always afraid that if there's a split jump ring or an open jump ring or the ear wire, it could come off. So I'm using a closed jump ring. That means that it's soldered and there's no opening in it. I'm going to pull that down to my piece and keep the ring on the outside and the stem bead that you just picked up close to the beadwork. Get in there. Here we go. Pull that away so you can see what I'm doing. So I have the jump ring strung on it. There's the stem bead. Now I'm going to go through the stem bead again. That's what makes it the stem. And it's going to capture the jump ring. Just like that. Now go in the opposite direction through that tip bead. So you came out this way and you're just going to go through the other side. Like this. There we go. Now, just weave your thread in, and I make a half hitch along the way next to a big bead, like this, by bringing my needle through the piece and carefully pulling the loop of thread so that it sits between my last seed bead and the Paisley Duo. And then I'm going to go through that loop of thread. And again, make sure that your thread is sitting where you want. There you go. And this is what they call securing your thread in the beadwork. So some people use half hitches. Sometimes the tension of your thread is enough to keep it in there. And you can just weave around a little bit. And that's it. There's an earring ready for the ear wire. Ta-da! Cute, right? Little spring violet earring. Now, you can see the shape of this earring with the 4 Gem Duos and the 4 Paisley Duos. And what I started to do was substitute 2 Cymbal Gem Duo endings. Sykia, they're called, S-Y-K-I-A. And I have put them in a component like this. All I did was swap out the Gem Duos for these 2 Sykia components because I thought, you know, for me, it might be a little heavy for an earring. So look what I did. I used the endings as connectors. You can really, it just started to play. I made one, I made another one. Let me show you the slight modification for the 11s because of the shape of the Cymbal Sykia elements, and then you'll be able to know how to do this. And of course, once I started to link them together, I thought, okay, bracelet for sure. Here's this really cool magnetic clasp, very strong, that's made to look like the Gem Duos. It would really fit in nicely as a clasp for the bracelet. But I also started to play and thought, wow, maybe I could attach a Gem Duo Sykia connector and start to dangle other components off and make a necklace. So the whole, like, what if when you're playing with your beads, this is what happens, and this is part of the reason why I like components. So, hey, thanks, Laurie. The endings are really cool. I agree. And it looks like somebody is asking me to make some more, so what I'm going to do is show you how to make the component that I just was talking about with the Cymbal Gemduo cymbal endings. So here I have my beads strung, but I have substituted out the Gemduo endings for those two Gemduo beads. But basically I'm going to do the same thing. Hi Bianca, thanks for tuning in. And I'm going to tie my beads in a circle just like I did the first time. All right. So you can see I'm tying it in that circle, and I'm going to make my square knot with an extra hitch so that it doesn't slide and loosen up. There we go. And just to save some time, I'm not going to weave that in, but figure that that's going to get woven in later. All right. Now remember I told you as you work around, you don't want to start sewing right from the knot. You want to sew through a bead, all right? So I'm going to sew through the Gemduo and start outlining my first Gemduo. I'm going to take my 3 beads, my 3 11s, just like I did before, and I'm going to come up the side and go through the outer hole of the Gemduo. Now I'm going to take my 3 beads and I'm going to go through the outer hole of the Paisley Duo. Now don't worry, we're going to come around and fix this later when we do this. Now is this different than I did before? Oh, it is. First time around, let's try this. You know, when you're playing around with stuff, sometimes as you're doing it, you have to do it and you come up with a better way. So let's see if I do this. I'm going to go and attach my 3 11s to the other side of the Gemduo by going through that middle hole again. So I'm flanking my Gemduo. Now I'm going to come up the first 3 that I added and add the 3 on the tip. Let's do this. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. And then I'm going to pick up the 3 that form the tip, and I'm going to go through these 3 beads and then go through the outer hole of my Paisley Duo. Kind of makes it more of a system this way. All right, so you can see I have the new beads and I'm going through the outer hole of the Paisley Duo, not the ending yet. All right. Now, the Gemduo endings, the Cymbal endings, only have 1 hole that's on the inside. There's no hole on the outside. So what I figured out through trial and error, that I can take 2 11s and sew through the inner hole, and they will lay nice and neatly along the inside of the Paisley Duo. So when you use the cymbal component, you're only going to pick up 2 on either side, 2 11s on either side of your Gemduo Cymbal cymbal component. Now I'm going to go through the outer hole of that Paisley Duo, and now I'm back to my system of picking up 3, going through the outer hole, picking up 3, and I'm going to go through the inner hole on the other side to come back. Whoop, I missed the hole. All right, I'm standing up over this phone to do this. Okay, let's try that again. I want to go through the inner hole. There we go. And now they're going to lay beside the Gemduo. Now remember, you're going to come up from the inner hole to the 11s so that it pulls it in to make that nice frame outline. 3 more 11s to form the point or the tip. Go through the 3 11s already added and the outer hole of the Paisley Duo. Okay, I'm working with silver beads. I'm going to add some more. Now remember, we only need 2 when we get to the Gemduo, the cymbal component, and we're going to go through the only hole through this component, which is on the inner circle. Then we pick up 2 more and go through the outer hole of the Paisley Duo. Now we're coming out the outer hole of the Paisley Duo, and we have to go through that last part now, and we're just going to go through those first 3 11s, just the 3 in this step. All right. Now, when I did the earring, I exited out here and I made the loop, but we have the Gemduos cymbal components. So all I'm going to do now is sew through the beads. Hey, Kim, thanks for joining us. All I'm going to do now is secure my thread in the beadwork. I'm weaving around to my favorite place to make those little half hitches, which is a discreet, inconspicuous spot, and usually it's near a larger bead, so the knot is going to be hidden a little more, or the hitch. And you can see how I've pulled that little loop pretty far down to be small so that that stays right in there. And then I'm just going to continue to sew through to reinforce it. And there you go. So you can see how you can swap out beads that you're familiar with and comfortable with in existing designs, you guys, that you already know how to make. And by adding these components, the cymbal components, you can really change it up and evolve your design like I did with the components from my bracelet. So what do you think? These are cymbal Sikia components, designed for Gemduos, but I would love to see what else you guys do with these. And of course, Paisley Duos, Gemduos. So again, I am Leslie Rogowski here for the BeadSmith. You can find these cymbal components. Thanks, Kim. I think they're cool too. You can find cymbal components, Paisley Duos, Gemduos, and other quality BeadSmith beads, tools, and supplies. Where else? Your favorite bead reseller. Don't we all love beads? See ya!